ABC7 Super Bowl preview live Saturday at 6:30.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Girls with a Hollywood dream, about to do something most of us could never imagine.
Roll tapes.
The new, hot, fresh talent is always better than the old, used.
Inside the new world of pornography.
But you never did any sex on camera or any of that?
Be there as an 18-year-old makes a decision she can never take back.
I had to do a lot of things that I can't imagine anyone wanting to do.
Tonight, America's giant appetite for pornography, a $10 billion industry. And you'll be surprised who's cashing in. Big names you know.
Is this an edict from General Motors not to talk?
Fortune 500 corporations reaping profits and looking the other way as young women go further and further.
So why won't you protect yourself?
The fans don't like to see condoms.
What makes a girl do it? We follow a teen along the road from her first movie to the roughest side of raw, X-rated fame. Tonight, an unprecedented 2-year look inside the business. Porn, big money, shattered lives.
But when you're telling me about things that really made you suffer, you're still smiling.
Now I'm gonna cry.
And what's real, what's not hidden?
From ABC News, this is Primetime Thursday with Diane Sawyer and Charles Gibson. Tonight, young women, porn and profits, corporate America's secret affair.
Good evening. Charlie is off tonight, and we welcome you to the special Primetime Hour. Tonight, we are going to take you into the parallel universe of pornography in America today. It's now an estimated $10 billion business, which is bigger than the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball combined, more than all the tickets spent at movie theaters. And as you're about to see, not only is the appetite for porn apparently endless, some of the most respected corporations in America are making millions from it, while saying nothing publicly at all. So, with porn so mainstream, we set out on a journey. 2 years ago, we went to LA. And some of the young women you're about to meet will make a decision to enter the porn business. We wanted to know why they did, and who are they? Some of them just 18 years old, about to have no health protection and no slice of the big profits. Just girls whose dreams are about to turn XXX rated. Every week they come to Los Angeles by the dozens, so many of them just teenagers taking the buses from Texas or Minnesota or Alabama. Somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, on one of those highways of dreams.
2. Can you act?
I don't know.
Can you at least memorize lines?
Yes.
You good in high school play?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's me winning a little plaque for 4-H.
They just want to become stars, but how do you get there?
We have some R-rated movies, quite a few, really.
This is Jim South, who runs the World Modeling Agency, recruiting girls for photo shoots.
Now, you did understand that most of it is nude. Arch the fanny just a little bit, and then give me a little smile.
Nearly every girl we meet says she's prepared to show a little skin in a photo. In this day and age, they say it's kind of glamorous and might lead to that big break.
We had a couple of people in decent proposal with didn't we?
Yeah.
I think there's an average of about 100 girls a day coming in from all over the world to do this.
And the money?
Now, if you're bikini, it's 100. If you're topless, it's 200.
Okay.
If it is centerfold, it's 5,000, and bing de bong, we're off to Acapulco, right?
This is Jennifer from New Jersey, a teacher of emotionally disturbed children who says she really needs some extra cash.
Head down just a little bit. Smile. Okay. Quickly bust them out. Cute. Like that.
And this is Angel, who came to LA from the Midwest, hoping to be a regular movie star. Samantha wants to be a fashion model, but thought the effort has beat her down. She asked us not to use her real voice and told us a lot of people took pictures of her but never called back.
She's gorgeous, and that long hair. Yeah. Oh.
A photographer saw Samantha and suggested she go to see Jim South.
This is a winner here. She's gonna go a long way.
South, smooth, casual, direct, introduces a new thought. How will Samantha feel if instead of nude photographs, she's in a film?
She made 15,000 to 20,000 in a month, and I'm not exaggerating. Huh?
It seems like a small distinction, but in fact, it's a giant fork in the road. Right away, Jennifer starts pulling out altogether. She says no.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, you're new to the adult business? Okay.
But so many girls tell us they imagine it will be something erotic, like some of the scenes in feature films. And Samantha says, after all, she's sure famous people have done work like that.
You can put your clothes back on?
And it's clear the directors put a premium on the new, the young.
The new, hot, fresh talent is always better than the old, used.
So the same day Samantha meets Jim South, she agrees to get an AIDS test.
You've never done anything like this before.
And the next day, she's in front of a camera, having sex. And then, the regret. She says afterwards she took a long hot shower, thinking about what she'd done.
Angel Cash.
Angel, the girl from the Midwest who wanted to be a regular actress, says she let herself get lured in, and afterwards she's desperate to get out.
I don't want to do any more sex.
Okay. That's fine. It's your life. The money, of course, is excellent.
Jim South agrees to cancel Angel's next shoot, but the director makes it more difficult.
He's just disappointed. He's not mad. He wants to know if you will do it for 1,000, if we get you out in 2 hours.
Angel agrees to listen.
You really are cute.
Thank you.
What about this girl, 18-year-old Michelle Sinclair?
But you've never done any sex on camera or any of that?
Michelle is a former cheerleader, field hockey star, anyone's kid next door growing up in a family of 8 kids in Mormon, Utah.
Happy? Happy, very happy. I wanted to be a gymnast in the Olympics, a ballerina, art teacher.
In the course of this hour, you will learn how the 18-year-old daughter of a bishop in the Mormon church will become one of the most talked about stars in one of the roughest parts of porn. And you will also learn something else about pornography in America today. How so many respectable Fortune 500 companies like General Motors, Comcast, AOL, Time Warner, and some of the leading hotel chains are making money from the distribution of porn. But try to get some answers from them about accountability or profits? Well, is this an edict from General Motors not to talk? They don't want to talk about a business that places 18-year-old kids at risk. Only a handful of porn production companies insist on condoms to protect against AIDS and other diseases.
If you really want to work continuously as a male performer, you have to, it's basically, you're riding bareback.
Most offer no health plans, no benefits.
The person that packs the porn in a box in the warehouse is entitled to hepatitis B vaccines. But someone that's having unprotected anal sex, there is no standard.
They're not protected. They don't even have working compensation.
Former U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop says America's big corporations are complicit in a public health hazard.
We have an industry that is making billions of dollars a year, is spreading to cable television and to the internet, and yet their employees are considered to be throwaway people.
So you're saying that they want it both ways. They want to be profiting from it, but they don't want to get involved.
They don't want to get involved, and people don't care whether they get involved or not. You have to remember that even the people who enjoy looking at pornography really despise the people they're watching, and they have no sense of protection for them.
And yet, to keep the revenues coming, the pressure on the performers is always to go further, to do something new.
We are at 1,025, and right now...
Like this film. Recently, one woman having sex with hundreds of men in only 48 hours.
I can't stand up.
She's so physically bruised, she's treated with ice. Contrast a porn set with a Hollywood feature film where
You have the animal rights people taking better care of cockroaches than they take care of people.
What about these individuals? Do they deserve it if they get into it themselves?
I don't think anybody deserves the kind of things that happen in the pornographic industry. Remember, these are kids, most of them. These are ordinary people who have made bad decisions or who have been pushed into bad decisions.
Back at Jim South's agency, Samantha discovers that after her first time, she's suddenly a big property.
Legend wants to book you. Nick at Ultimate wants to book you. You know who Peter North is?
She tells us she's never had this much attention or money in her life. So she suppresses her regret, saying, I'll just try to close my eyes and imagine I'm somewhere else. But Angel, who also desperately wanted money and stardom, decides she cannot do it.
There are people I don't want to hurt. My family.
She puts down the phone and decides to walk away.
Really, I can't.
If you can't,
I can't do that.
You know what? You're hot.
Thank you.
But Michelle Sinclair, the girl from the Mormon family in Utah, will make a different decision.
I wanted that attention. I wanted people to love me. I don't know why.
Hers will be a searing odyssey of confusion, unimaginable choices, and a journey into a kind of hell.
For the very first time, Michelle makes a movie and is asked to do something she's never done before. But nothing could compare to her next job.
At first I said, no way, and there's no way I'd ever do that, that's sick.
Young Women, Porn and Profits, Corporate America's Secret Affair will be back in a moment.
Introducing the new Nissan Murano for your adventures in on-roading.
My Aunt Marie never had to open a cookbook in her life, but she did ask Olive Garden what goes into their new chicken castellina. It's wonderful ingredients like sun-dried tomatoes sauteed with chicken and a creamy wine and smoked cheese sauce for just $8.95. Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
I never know when pain's gonna find me, but when it does, the icy hot patch is where I find relief. Icy first to dull the pain, then hot to relax pain away for hours. I put it on and the pain is gone.
Are you troubled by creditors? You're pre-approved. I guarantee it.
Go from fat to flat.
You've won a dream vacation.
Want to see my webcam?
Want a better way to block junk email?
Everybody loves baklava. Crispier, flakier crust.
Switch to new MSN 8. Sign up now and get tougher junk email protection, plus 2 months free. It's better with the Butterfly. Call 866-TRY-MSN8 today.
Honey, have you seen my lean pockets?
Lean pockets? Really crispy. Now with a tastier, crispier crust. Still only 7 grams of fat.
No, dear, I haven't seen your lean pockets anywhere.
Really?
Lean Pockets brand new, tastier, crispier crust.
It's LensCrafters' best $99 offer ever. Right now, get a complete pair of glasses with DuraLens, our most scratch-resistant plastic lens for only $99. The $99 DuraLens event. This is one you don't want to miss.
Hurry, offer ends soon.
The porn industry claims that more than 30% of movies bought or rented on the east and west coasts of America are sex movies. And we're also told that in hotel rooms where porn is available, half of the guests who rent movies rent adult movies. And something else, porn is no longer catering just to men who skulk into the seedy part of town. It's a growth industry among women as well. And you should know there are different kinds of porn, some made in what are called high-end studios. They often market their videos as hardcore and then edit them for sale as softcore as well. And then there are what are called gonzo productions, deliberately amateur-looking, and the content going as far as it's possible to go. So, as we continue, a teenager has to make a decision. What is she going to do?
We begin again with Michelle Sinclair, who was just 18 years old. A girl who just wants everyone to love her, always surprising people with presents and flowers. For months, she says, she refused to try sex on film. Then one day, with no money and no prospects, she agreed.
And that night, when you're lying awake that night and thinking about it?
I think I was just so like, wow, I'm going to be famous and, you know, people are going to want my autograph one day. And I had all this money. I could go shopping and, you know, get whatever I wanted.
She dyed her hair coal black not long after the first time.
Do you think anything fundamental has been lost? Have you given something important up?
Of course. And my sexual privacy is the most private it was. But I'll get over that.
But will she really get over that first day? She said she showed up expecting one regular sex scene.
I guess so.
But the director said he needed more, a different kind of sex.
And I'm like, well, I've never even done anal sex in my entire life. Never, ever even thought of it. It was painful, you know?
She says afterwards she was shattered, but she just didn't know how to refuse.
Because I didn't know any better, you know? I didn't know that I couldn't get work if I didn't do that.
They lie to you all the time.
Ona Z, who's been a performer for 15 years and is an advocate for reform.
You show up expecting to do one thing and then you do something else and you're in a trap because you've planned on the money that you're going to make.
Performers generally get a flat fee, $350 to $1,000 for a conventional sex scene.
And go.
But some of the cassettes can ultimately bring in as much as $1 million for those who are making and distributing them.
In our business, a movie doesn't die. It doesn't go away. It doesn't end. I have my Jenna movies that are from 7 years ago that are still selling better than some people's new movies.
Michelle's agent tells her he has another job that can bring her some extra money and sends her to what turns out to be a real prison, but with actors in prison outfits. 12 men.
At first I said, no way, and there's no way I'd ever do that. That's sick, you know?
She says she tried to back out with a variety of excuses, but the director was insistent. She was paid $4,000. A warning, this is not easy to watch. The men come at her, man after man, for all kinds of sex.
It was really hard because I really felt like a piece of meat. Like, you really took a piece of meat, threw it in a lion's cage, 12 lions. I had to do a lot of things that I can't imagine anyone wanting to do. And, you know, the guy who I shot it for saw me and just didn't even say anything, like, didn't even, are you okay? You know, nothing. It was like he got his movie and he got his box cover, so he was happy. But I wasn't very happy.
She says afterwards she couldn't stop crying. And so Michelle Sinclair packed up her bags and went back home to her Mormon family in Utah. Again, she was just 18 years old. And all that happened is perfectly legal in America today, where pornography is enjoying a respectability unimagined 30 years ago.
I'm the soccer mom.
This woman says she has more than 3,000 distributors for her sex toys. Many of them stay-at-home moms who make up to 6 figures.
I am the woman next door. I am your best friend. That's who I am. And I can answer your questions when it comes to sex, too.
What do you think, honey?
I don't know what to expect.
Hi, guys. How are you?
This is a couple, parents of 5 children from Ohio, who won a contest to be on the set of a porn movie. Joy King, who works for Wicked Pictures, was even asked recently to speak about pornography to a secret society at Yale University.
All these Yale yuppies sitting here watching porn, eating fried chicken and drinking beer. I went, wow, our market has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. Just raise your hand if you have a computer.
And porn stars openly woo college kids at spring break.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah, teach me.
Hard to believe, but 30 years ago, pornographers operated in fear of prosecution, where the charge could be an obscene violation of community standards. But today, prosecutors say, how can you win a pornography case when the standard has virtually disappeared?
Parental discretion advised.
Action!
It would be my honor to remove your panties.
Today, former porn star Veronica Hart directs her own movies for a high-end company, VCA. Another career girl and mother of 2 boys trying to have it all.
It's definitely been tough for me. Very nice, Mom. Even though I'm 18, I don't know if I'm comfortable meeting a stranger and telling them exactly what my mom does.
Hi, Skippy!
I mean, very few of my friends know exactly.
In higher-end companies like VCA and Wicked and Digital Playground, the girls are put under contract.
What has to happen before...
And they usually get to pick their sex partners, and condoms are required.
Come on, he's got to put a rubber on before he does any of that. Come on.
Hi, I'm Serenity, and these are my fellow Wicked girls.
And they can sound like cheerleaders about the profession, insisting no drinking, no drugs.
I've been very happy. It's been a very wonderful adventure.
A lot of females, they look at me kind of as a role model. I've had nothing but positive attention.
I love reading. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I mean, I'm just a normal person. We're
pretty much normal.
I haven't changed as a person. I just have a very bizarre career.
But remember, and once again, this is a warning, when they go to work, it is this.
I don't think someone who thinks of themselves as priceless would be a sex performer.
I think the women want to create an overall ambiance that it's easy, it's fun, it's great, we never get a yeast infection, we're happy, you know, we don't have to worry about it, it never hurts.
Veteran porn star and reformer Ona Z says no one wants to wake the public up to the reality.
I see it every day. I mean, I see girls come to the set drunk, not in their bodies.
Ona Z, who is still in the business, says it is rife with drugs.
He was in there?
And for every vulnerable female, a vulnerable male. Viagra, they say, is everywhere.
This equipment doesn't work at all.
He's old.
Guys that would pop in sometimes 5 and 6 of these a day. And they raise your blood pressure. I mean, do you know what that stuff does to you?
Lights, camera, Viagra.
And it is probably not a surprise that many of these actors came from troubled homes or a history of abuse.
When those things happen to us as people, it breaks down all of our boundaries. And this is the person they're looking for. A lot of these people in the business are looking for.
Though it did surprise us how many of the performers said they came from intense religious backgrounds. Like Michelle, from a Mormon home so strict she couldn't play with Barbie dolls because of their voluptuous bodies.
I was raised in a very strict family where we weren't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to watch Roger Rabbit or Simpsons or Dirty Dancing. I wasn't allowed to watch that.
Growing up, Michelle had a learning disability, trouble in school, and she says a boyfriend left her for a stripper. She says, too, there wasn't much money in the family until her journey into porn.
I'm like the one that they thought that would never have the money, and I'm the only one that has money in that whole family. And my sister, I paid for her college, you know, my older sister.
Michelle's older sister, Alicia.
I can remember the day that, like, my mom called me and told me that she moved out here and that's what she was doing, and I, like, remember crying on the phone thinking, like, what has her life become, you know? And being really upset about it, you know, because it's not like you exactly expect her to become a lawyer or anything. So, I mean, but it's not exactly like you expect her to become a porn star either.
So, just 1 year after she left the business, the lure of the money brings Michelle Sinclair back.
I'm like, wow, this is gonna be cool.
She tries to get a contract with one of the high-end companies.
I think that I will be a superstar one day. We'll see.
She has a shot at the big time, a small part in a VCA movie, the same company where Veronica Hart is a director. On the set, she's starstruck.
He is a riot.
There's Ron Jeremy, one of the biggest names in porn.
No bras, no panties.
But she gets bad news. She doesn't get her contract.
We're gonna rock the world.
So she takes another offer.
And you will not regret this.
Oh, I know.
a trip to Prague to shoot her first starring role in a feature film for a company called Elegant Angel. And as you'll see, it will be an experience that will totally turn her life around.
You know, there are lots of lotions and potions promising to grow your hair back with a money-back guarantee. Problem is, these companies may not be around next year. Hair Club has been researching and testing new products and procedures since 1976, offering clinically tested, FDA-approved options, as well as the latest breakthroughs in hair loss alternatives. Call now and visit a Hair Club. You can see actual clients and real results. Hair Club is always on the cutting edge of technology. So, when it comes to your hair, don't settle for less. Call Hair Club today.
Death has this grand design.
The end.
What did you see?
Is just the beginning.
Being alive after we were supposed to die caused a rift in death's design.
On January 31st.
Now we have to fight this thing.
The next chapter.
I control my life!
Will leave you breathless. Final destination.
I hope you're ready for this.
Rated R. Starts Friday, January 31st.
This is the matchup we've been waiting for, the KG veteran versus the fast-rising newcomer.
I hear the way this rookie uses bill pay from Bank of America is really something.
Look at the way the veteran stuffs that envelope, Johnny.
That is really old school.
Well, the rookie's in total control out there. He's deciding what bills he wants to pay and when.
Uh-oh. The money he's put aside to pay his bills is in one of his other accounts.
Hold on. He's transferring money from his savings into his checking account right from his desktop. What a strategy!
We've got ourselves a new champion.
Friday. Is it an epidemic? Dangerously overweight teenagers who think they have one last desperate chance to be healthy. But is surgery just too extreme? Or is going from this to looking like this worth the risk?
One of my friends from the year before didn't even recognize me when I was in his class.
Don't miss 2020 Friday.
What's a talk show without guests? Well, it looks like I might find out.
Jimmy Kimmel, live, coming ABC Super Bowl Sunday.
Coming Monday. One man is a believer.
The events that we follow are taking place more and more every day.
The other, a skeptic.
The harder I work at having faith, the farther away it feels. Maybe we are all alone down here.
But they're about to come face to face with mysteries so big.
Help us. You want to remain innocent? No one is innocent.
No one will be ready for them.
Are you sure this is what you saw?
It's the one thing in my life I'll never forget.
A journey into the unexplained is about to begin.
We investigate strange things.
This is more important than you can possibly imagine.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
It wants to destroy us.
From the people who brought you The Sixth Sense, Skeet Ulrich,
no!
Angus McFadgen.
This could become very dangerous for you.
I think it already has.
Miracles. Premieres Monday on ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
Once again, here's how the business works. Every year, an estimated 11,000 hardcore porn movies are released. And the people who make the videos then market them to middlemen, distributors who feed them to the giant cable and satellite companies and hotels, or they're sold over the internet and in video stores. As we said, the performers tend to get flat fees, just a tiny fraction of the money a movie can make. And while some production companies encourage condom use and offer health coverage, most do not. And we're told every performer has a story, and often they're stories of troubled childhoods and abuse.
That's it. Beautiful.
As we begin, Michelle Sinclair has made a few dozen videos. Her screen name, Belladonna, Poison Flower.
She said when she first left for LA, she told me she was going to model negligees.
This is Michelle's mother, Diana Hamilton.
And then I ran into a couple of people who actually were fans of hers and people I work with, and that was a little strange. But
did you go through the what did I do? Did I do something wrong?
I have. I've wondered. What did I do wrong? Was it because I went through a divorce? Was it because I raised her in the church? Or was I not rich enough? Was I not humble enough? I don't know.
Michelle's father is in fact a retired Air Force captain and a former bishop in the Mormon church.
What does her father really think about this?
Do you know?
I think he's totally disgusted by it and embarrassed and very, very sad.
And slowly as we talk, Michelle's mother reveals that, like so many others in the business, when Michelle was 14, she was molested by an older boy. Afterwards, she had a breakdown attempting suicide.
She was, you know, what, 14? I could lock her away. I could protect her. And I could go visit her and take care of her. I can't do that now.
Back in Los Angeles, Michelle is off to the Czech Republic to begin shooting her first starring role.
Oh, I can't wait to go back and see you.
Your attention, please.
The movie will be part reality-based, part scripted.
No, come on now.
Director Patrick Collins wants his star to roam Prague with a handycam in search of sexual adventures. He starts things off at the LA airport.
I got $50 if you'll just undo the buttons on your blouse. We'll make it 100, cash.
That's 100.
That's 100?
Go.
Okay, now let's see that. Come up a little bit. Go to this side.
Two flights and 15 hours later, Belladonna looks less the porn star and more the kid next door.
Welcome to Prague, ladies and gentlemen.
In Prague, when Michelle is introduced to one of her leading men a few days later, she falls for him in a childish infatuation.
Sometimes you find a woman.
You're so beautiful.
That's Bella playing hard to get.
Her new love, Nacho Vidal, a porn star from Spain who has been paired with just about every starlet in the business. But Michelle believes this is it for her.
There's nothing bad about you.
No?
No.
You don't know me very well.
Oh, don't say that.
The day we met, he said, "You're going to be the mother of my children. I love you." Like, you know, I mean, I'd never had that before. I never had a guy be so in love with me.
He is less sentimental about commitment.
I see already the way she feels. I cannot be with one girl, you know?
Action.
Hi, my car broke down back
And when the filming actually begins, the tone changes. None of this was scripted or suggested by the director. It didn't even appear in the final version of the film. And though Michelle seemed shaken afterwards, she insisted she was okay.
I look torn up, can you tell? I mean, I took a beating today and it was great.
Another girl considered disposable by a business feeding a giant appetite.
Their careers are pretty short.
Ken Banish is president of the Erotic Network, whose parent company, New Frontier, feeds cable companies like Time Warner and Comcast.
I don't think that we can take responsibility for what we're doing to society. I think society is taking the entertainment community where it wants to go.
In just 3 years, Banish says his erotic network has grown from about 1.5 million households
To last count, over 35 million. So
Banish used to sell country, western, and educational programs. The CEO of New Frontier, Mark Krylov, used to be a banker.
It's a very inexpensive form of entertainment for a lot of Americans. And they're willing to pay a big premium to get it discreetly, to get it in the privacy of their own home.
Krylov and Banish are two middle-class guys from the suburbs of Colorado who recognize a growth industry.
Have you had virtual sex with me yet?
And up next in the porn world, do-it-yourself porn with interactive technology, too.
It's all shot from point of view, so you can imagine yourself as the viewer. Oh, you can see there, see, she's reacting. She didn't like the way you touched her.
By now, Michelle Sinclair is no longer the new girl in the business. She's made 200 to 300 movies with scores of sex partners. And she has to do ever riskier things to earn her money. Again, we warn you, this information is not pleasant to hear, but it is true.
For like DPs, which is like double penetration, $1,500. And, you know, if you do, like they even do double anal, which is like $1,500, $1,600 also.
One person in the industry called it sexual Olympics.
It definitely is. You have to really prepare physically and mentally for it. I mean, I go through a process from the night before. I stop eating at 5 o'clock. I do, you know, like 2 enemas, and then the next morning I don't eat anything. It's so draining on your body.
At every stage, the medical risk increases. Always the fear of AIDS.
It's something that I always think about. Pray.
Michelle has already contracted chlamydia, a venereal disease which can make you sterile.
So why won't you protect yourself?
The fans don't like to see condoms. If I would have said I want to use condoms every time, I really wouldn't get anywhere.
Are you shocked it's not against the law?
Yeah, because you're talking about your life, you know? Or something like
Michelle's mother, Diana Hamilton, told us she had not watched her daughter's tapes, but she did listen as Michelle told me the graphic details.
I can hear lots of parents out there saying, I would be on the next train, plane, automobile. If I had to take handcuffs, I would get them home and get them out of it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if I had really felt the truth of what was happening at the time, if I'd really felt or knew, you know what I mean? But she's an adult. I can't chain her down. I can't tie her down. She has to find out for herself.
People have tried to tell me, you know, this is how it's going to turn out, and I've never listened to anyone. Never.
But the longer we talked to Michelle, the more unnerved I became by something. No matter how ghastly the stories of what she had done, no matter the pain she described, Michelle always smiled.
When you're telling me about things that really made you suffer, you're still smiling.
Because I like to hide. Hide everything, you know?
And what's real? What's not hidden?
Now I'm gonna cry.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I like to hide my real emotions because I want everyone to see how happy I am. But inside, really, I'm not happy. I don't like myself at all.
We'll have more from Michelle in a moment, but a couple of other notes. There are 4 female porn stars who have spoken out publicly saying they contracted AIDS, and one of them is bringing suit. And we also thought we'd tell you that brothels in Nevada are legal and regulated, and the brothels require that the girls be protected with condoms.
American porn. Hardcore profits for some, throwaway lives for many. Fortune 500 companies with an X-rated secret.
I hate them that their kids get to go to college and live in a big, beautiful home and go on wonderful vacations, and my daughter had to and will suffer for that.
Primetime Thursday will return in a moment.
Super Bowl 37, Sunday on ABC.
Don't let it get away. It's gonna be a day.
Don't miss Toyota's full lineup of SUVs, like Toyota Highlander, the best mid-size sport utility vehicle in initial quality, or the all-new 4Runner, Truckin's SUV Magazine SUV of the Year. Or get $1,000 extra value package savings on the sporty RAV4. Don't miss the best values at your Toyota dealer.
Don't let it get away. It's gonna be a day.
Aunt Karen, what's for dinner?
You haven't eaten?
Every day has a flavor of its own. Today's is Hormel fully cooked beef roast.
Oh, I can do this.
Real meals you make in minutes that taste like they took all day.
Hey. Mom, you're wrong. Aunt Karen's a great cook.
Make the day delicious. Today's flavor, Hormel.
Starting a small business takes a burning entrepreneurial spirit, a singular, bold vision, the courage to fight an endless uphill battle. But that's not all you need. Oh, no.
We need some furniture.
Not to mention the tools to manage your cash flow. That's why you need the Visa business card, because Jules Seltzer Furniture, like many other places, doesn't accept any card from American Express.
I love these chairs.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be. Get started at visa.com.
How do you top Super Sunday? Try Super Monday. Wow. The practice moves to a better night and a better time. Then, Paul Callan investigates strange occurrences. But are they miracles? Veritas the Quest, then the practice, and miracles. Super Monday premieres Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
What if the same boy was dating both your daughters? What kind of nightmares would you have if you were John Ritter?
What are you doing here? I should ask you the same question.
We work together.
New Three's Company, 8 Simple Rules, followed by According to Jim, ABC Tuesday.
What's happened to a young girl's Hollywood dream? Now she's a star in the roughest part of a hardcore world.
Oh my God, I didn't know I had that many fans.
But what's the price of fame? Her mother has a question for all the corporations cashing in.
Would you allow your daughter to work in this industry?
Young women, porn and profits. Corporate America's secret affair continues after this from our ABC stations.
Coming up on Eyewitness News, incredible pictures show just how dangerous the cleanup can be in Mexico following a deadly earthquake. We are on the scene. Plus, 2 journalists working for the LA Times are kidnapped in a war zone. We have the latest. And talk show host Jerry Springer may be giving up TV for a job just as controversial. Those stories and more coming up tonight at 11.
Yesterday, when families turned violent, see what happened when the cameras just kept rolling. Next Oprah, tomorrow at 3 here on ABC 7.
Lines. I love lines, but not the same old lines. I think lines can be truly wondrous things. I like them long, sleek, and a bit provocative. Lines can transform an environment, giving it a spirit that rises up and goes, look at me.
Panasonic presents flat and thin TV. When ultimate style meets the ultra-real picture of Panasonic, it's a beautiful thing.
This definitely speaks to me.
Panasonic, ideas for life.
Cadillac CTS. Breakthrough.
Attractive lease or purchase offers now available. Visit your Southern California Cadillac dealer.
Now at Payless, buy any pair of shoes and get any red tagged item half off. You deserve it. Look smart. Payless.
The simplest way to lose weight. Tomorrow at 4.
As we said just a generation ago, pornographers lived in fear of prosecution, and videos tended to play in seedy neighborhoods. Well, not so today. Some of the country's most glittering corporate establishments have gotten into the profits. So we wondered, what would they say? Do they approve of the legal age limit, 18-year-old girls? What about the fact that condoms are not always required, or that performers are treated, in the words of Dr. Koop, like throwaway people? So we started asking some questions and discovered that pornography, profits, and responsibility are a secret in the corporate attic.
Who are these companies? None other than General Motors, which owns DirecTV. DirecTV delivers soft and hardcore porn via satellite into homes, bringing in millions. Comcast, the giant communications company which supplies porn, including hardcore, to homes via pay-per-view. And how about Time Warner? It owns a cable company which offers erotic programming from Playboy and other outlets, including hardcore. So, how many millions and millions of dollars do these Fortune 500 companies make from porn? Well, we can't tell you, because they don't publicize it anywhere at all. We went through their financial statements, and there's not one mention of money made from the sex movie market. But one industry analyst we spoke with estimated that the combination of cable and satellite outlets makes about $1 billion a year from the adult movie market. And the hotel industry is also reaping the spoils. Major hotel chains. Some 40% of all the hotel rooms in the country offer adult movies ranging from soft to hardcore. So it's a lot of easy cash for hotels in the millions. But again, you'll never find a mention on any financial statement. So I got on the phone to try to find some answers from these companies. DirecTV, General Motors. I tried the chairman. Finally, a PR spokesman said they were not permitted to talk.
Is this an edict from General Motors not to talk?
Comcast would not comment on the record. And companies like Hilton and Marriott, nothing on the record. In fact, several companies wouldn't even go on the record to say no comment. At the end of the day, no executives at Time Warner Cable would talk either. But public relations spokesman Mark Harrod said I could record his voice for broadcast.
Tell me about the nature of what you're offering. Where do you draw the line?
Time Warner Cable has traditionally offered what they've called softcore programming, and
but you do offer hardcore.
In a couple of divisions, they have increased those programming to the next step up, if you will, which I think some people would understandably call hardcore. And that decision has really been driven by consumers.
And no one expressed a willingness to take responsibility for the young girls helping bring in the profits. Again, former Surgeon General Dr. C. Everett Koop, who says most companies do nothing to ensure health care or simple safety regulations for the performers who are often still in their teens.
As you know, producers have said, distributors have said, well, they're not really employees, so we don't have that responsibility for them. They're contract players, in effect, independent ones.
That's just a cop-out, and these youngsters are not unionized, they don't know how to do anything for themselves, and they're really stuck.
Make a fist with that hand, and then this is not a moral issue. It's an issue about disease, about HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, young men and women entering an industry that they often don't know enough about.
That's Sharon Mitchell, head of the Adult Industry Medical Clinic. Bill Margold is a veteran porn star himself who now counsels others entering the business.
I get 18, 19-year-old girls who just don't understand that once you do this, you are sociologically damned forever. I do not think that people are capable at 18 years old of making life-changing decisions.
I think that what this needs is somebody in either the House or the Senate to have some hearings on the regulation of this industry.
What about the mental health consequences to these kids?
What happens to youngsters who are used in the pornographic industry is almost indescribable.
Again, performer and porn executive Ona Z says,
we don't think about the repercussions the movies created on the psyche of the girl that we used in the film. I mean, many times I saw myself get up from my body and I was having a scene outside of my body. It's a severe form of splitting off.
I call it the other half.
We've noticed since we first met her, Michelle Sinclair has changed dramatically. When we first met her, she told us she wouldn't use drugs.
Never. Never.
Now we learn, like so many others, she's been using drugs during some of the scenes.
And I'm all like this when he's like calls me back and he's like, is there something I did wrong or you know, were you not into it or something? I'm all, no, I think I was just really stoned.
And we aren't the only ones who were stunned by the changes in her. One of her old friends from home came to visit.
When I got off the plane, I went straight to one of her scenes. Like, I'd never seen anything like that before. I was just shocked.
Michelle says, at times, it has driven her to despair.
Recently, did you have a breakdown?
Yes.
What was it?
I didn't want to be here anymore at all. I wanted to leave, you know, this world.
Suicide?
Of course. I mean, I don't want to do this anymore at all. But there's that part of me that's like, you have all that money again.
And who's going to win?
Me this time, I really hope.
There's a delusion that the X-rated industry is a stepping stone into the real world. The X-rated industry is a tombstone to the real world.
Do you hate the big businesses that make so much money? Yes, I do. I hate them. I hate them that their kids get to go to college and live in a big, beautiful home and go on wonderful vacations, and my daughter had to and will suffer for that. If you could talk to the head of one of these corporations,
making countless millions, and the industry saying nothing publicly about it, what would you say to him?
I think my first question would be, would you allow your daughter to work in this industry?
There are a lot of people, I suppose, who might think that if we don't take responsibility for it, it'll go away.
Oh, no, it won't go. It'll never go away. It'll just get worse. The appetite for pornography seems to be insatiable.
We know of one hotel chain, Omni, which decided to stop providing sex movies in rooms. And the company says it's forfeiting millions a year by doing so. But the CEO said he made the decision after asking himself, what are we doing?
2 years in the world of porn.
You've never done any sex on camera or any of that?
What's happened to the young women who took the dare?
And the winner of the AVN Award for Best All-Sex Video is...
Will Michelle make it to the top or bow out when Primetime returns?
A shift can change a person, a life, the world, or it can simply change the way you move through it.
Part 204. It's soft, smooth, and inviting. It has to be, because now it's also a chin rest. Lever 2000 Moisture Response. It not only cleans, but has a targeted moisturizer that keeps your 2000 parts soft where they need it most. Lever 2000 Moisture Response. For the best parts of life.
Super Bowl Sunday's just days away. But first, tomorrow, it's our Super Bowl party live in San Diego. Music, celebrities, and extreme fun on Good Morning America. And on World News Tonight, America is losing police and firefighters daily to possible war. Who will protect us here at home? Are you as safe as you think? Tomorrow on World News Tonight.
LAPD, I'm Detective Friday, my partner, Detective Smith.
One's a detective who's strictly old school.
You were such a good citizen. I think you're going to lose your green card over this.
The other's a cop for a new generation.
Who's ready to blow your head off?
You couldn't find two men more opposite.
We have two dead bodies and a woman that could be killed at any second.
Together, they're taking on the City of Angels.
Our killer is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Hillside Strangler murders.
Copycat.
The mean streets of L.A. have met their match.
So all we have is an MO.
LAPD.
Next, throat was slashed.
They're going to kill you unless you help us stop them.
From Dick Wolf, the Emmy-winning creator of Law and Order.
Showtime's over. You're under arrest for murder.
Ed O'Neill is Joe Friday.
Let's get the dogs. We got to get this guy.
Come on, let's go.
And Ethan Embry is Frank Smith.
Am I good or what?
The Badge is back. The new Dragnet, Sunday, February 2nd on ABC.
Sweet.
The 2003 Lincoln Navigator. Lease it now for just $619 a month for 36 months with 4618 due at signing. See your California Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
When we left Michelle Sinclair, she was at a crossroads. The average career in hardcore pornography is brief, reportedly just 18 months. So we thought we'd tell you what happened to some of the people you met here tonight.
We checked back in with Samantha, who became much sought after. Her first porn scene, you'll remember, had been the day after she walked in the agency. She told us after a few months, she'd had enough. She didn't feel it was for her.
Keep her eyes closed? Yeah.
But after 2 years, Michelle has become a major name. Belladonna, famous, celebrated for the kind of sex that once horrified and hurt her.
Oh my God, I didn't know I had that many fans.
She told us she's made more than $100,000 a year. At Michelle's first Las Vegas Adult Video Awards show, a kind of porn Oscars, her movie, the one she shot in Prague, is nominated.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is
the winner for Best Director.
Veronica Hart, up for Best Director, does not win.
For the male performer of the year.
And Bella's now former boyfriend, Nacho, up for 5 awards.
And the winner is...
loses out each time.
Lexington Steel!
But Belladonna...
And the winner of the AVN Award for Best All-Sex Video is...
Bella, Elegant Angel. Roar! That's all I have to say. What's up? I worked hard for this one.
And even more awards as the months move on. For her biggest movie yet, a disturbing marathon of anal sex and S&M. She is now 21, and there have been other changes in her life. Her friend from Utah, who was once so shocked by the business, decided the money was good, so she'd try it too.
So I'm like the first.
You're the first, yeah.
Geez,
My first time was horrible. Horrible. I was like almost in tears. Like I hated it so bad. I'm like, I don't want to.
She says it was Bella who convinced her to stick with it. And what about Belladonna's mother, who was so worried about her daughter in the porn industry? Her mother decided to become her personal assistant on a new series Belladonna was going to direct and star in. But that deal fell through. Her mother went back to Utah.
And you can find more on our report at abcnews.com. We'll be right back.
Ahead on Eyewitness News, we are learning more about the kidnapping of 2 LA Times journalists in Colombia.
Amazing pictures of a store clerk fighting back. Wait till you see the dramatic ending.
Murder by Mercedes. A socialite goes on trial for killing her husband.
Minutes away, right here at 11.
Chicago is the winner of 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Actress Renee Zellweger, yes! Best Actor Richard Gere, and Best Picture of the Year.
Thanks, Chicago.
Chicago, rated PG-13. Now playing everywhere.
It's hard to lose your best friend, especially when it's your son. To go from being the hero to the villain.
This is Jim South, who runs the World Modeling Agency, recruiting girls for photo shoots.
Now, you did understand that most of it is nude.
Mm-hmm.
Arch the fanny just a little bit, and then give me a little smile.
Nearly every girl we meet says she's prepared to show a little skin in a photo. In this day and age, they say it's kind of glamorous and might lead to that big break.
We had a couple of people in indecent proposal with recruiting.
Yeah, I think there's an average of about 100 girls a day coming in from all over the world to do this.
And the money?
Now, if you're bikini, it's 100. If you're topless, it's 200.
Okay.
If it is centerfold, it's 5,000, and bingo de bon, we're off to Acapulco, right?
This is Jennifer from New Jersey, a teacher of emotionally disturbed children who says she really needs some extra cash.
Head down just a little bit. Smile. Okay. If you bust them out, it's cute. Like that.
And this is Angel, who came to LA from the Midwest, hoping to be a regular movie star. Samantha wants to be a fashion model, but the effort has beat her down. She asked us not to use her real voice and told us a lot of people took pictures of her but never called back.
She's gorgeous, and that long hair. Yeah. Oh.
A photographer saw Samantha and suggested she go to see Jim South.
This is a winner here. She's gonna go a long way.
South, smooth, casual, direct, introduces a new thought. How will Samantha feel if instead of nude photographs, she's in a film?
You make 15,000 to 20,000 in a month, and I'm not exaggerating. Huh?
It seems like a small distinction, but in fact, it's a giant fork in the road. Right away, Jennifer starts pulling out altogether. She says no.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, you're new to the adult business? Okay.
But so many girls tell us they imagine it will be something erotic, like some of the scenes in feature films. And Samantha says, after all, she's sure famous people have done work like that.
You can put your clothes back on?
And it's clear the directors put a premium on the new, the young.
The new, hot, fresh talent is always better than the old, used.
So the same day Samantha meets Jim South, she agrees to get an AIDS test.
You've never done anything like this before.
And the next day, she's in front of a camera, having sex. And then, the regret. She says afterwards she took a long hot shower, thinking about what she'd done.
Angel Cash.
Angel, the girl from the Midwest who wanted to be a regular actress, says she let herself get lured in, and afterwards she's desperate to get out.
I don't want to do any more sex.
Okay, that's fine. It's your life. The money, of course, is excellent.
Jim South agrees to cancel Angel's next shoot, but the director makes it more difficult.
He's just disappointed he's not mad. He wants to know if you will do it for 1,000, if we get you out in 2 hours.
Angel agrees to listen.
You really are cute.
Thank you.
What about this girl, 18-year-old Michelle Sinclair?
But you've never done any sex on camera or any of that?
Michelle is a former cheerleader, field hockey star. Anyone's kid next door growing.
News. This is Primetime Thursday with Diane Sawyer and Charles Gibson. Tonight, young women, porn and profits, corporate America's secret affair.
Good evening. Charlie is off tonight, and we welcome you to the special Primetime Hour. Tonight, we are going to take you into the parallel universe of pornography in America today. It's now an estimated $10 billion business, which is bigger than the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball combined, more than all the tickets spent at movie theaters. And as you're about to see, not only is the appetite for porn apparently endless, some of the most respected corporations in America are making millions from it, while saying nothing publicly at all. So, with porn so mainstream, we set out on a journey. 2 years ago, we went to LA, and some of the young women you're about to meet will make a decision to enter the porn business. We wanted to know why they did, and who are they? Some of them just 18 years old, about to have no health protection and no slice of the big profits. Just girls whose dreams are about to turn XXX rated.
Every week they come to Los Angeles by the dozens, so many of them just teenagers taking the buses from Texas or Minnesota or Alabama. Somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, on one of those highways of dreams.
2. Can you act?
I don't know.
Can you at least memorize lines?
Yes.
You've been in a high school play?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's me winning a little plaque for 4-H.
They just want to become stars, but how do you get there?
We have some R-rated movies, quite a few.
ABC 7 Super Bowl preview live Saturday at 6:30.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Girls with a Hollywood dream, about to do something most of us could never imagine.
Roll tapes.
The new, hot, fresh talent is always better than the old, used.
Inside the new world of pornography.
But you've never done any sex on camera or any of that?
Be there as an 18-year-old makes a decision she can never take back.
I had to do a lot of things that I can't imagine anyone wanting to do.
Tonight, America's giant appetite for pornography, a $10 billion industry. And you'll be surprised who's cashing in. Big names you know.
Is this an edict from General Motors not to talk?
Fortune 500 corporations reaping profits and looking the other way as young women go further and further.
So why won't you protect yourself?
The fans don't like to see condoms.
What makes a girl do it? We follow a teen along the road from her first movie to the roughest side of raw, X-rated fame. Tonight, an unprecedented 2-year look inside the business. Porn, big money, shattered lives.
But when you're telling me about things that really made you suffer, you're still smiling.
Now I'm gonna cry.
And what's real, what's not hidden?
From
Growing up in a family of 8 kids in Mormon, Utah.
Happy?
Happy, very happy. I wanted to be a gymnast in the Olympics, a ballerina, art teacher.
In the course of this hour, you will learn how the 18-year-old daughter of a bishop in the Mormon church will become one of the most talked about stars in one of the roughest parts of porn. And you will also learn something else about pornography in America today. How so many respectable Fortune 500 companies like General Motors, Comcast, AOL, Time Warner, and some of the leading hotel chains are making money from the distribution of porn. But try to get some answers from them about accountability or profits? Well,
is this an edict from General Motors not to talk?
They don't want to talk about a business that places 18-year-old kids at risk. Only a handful of porn production companies insist on condoms to protect against AIDS and other diseases.
If you really want to work continuously as a male performer, you have to, it's basically, you're riding bareback.
Most offer no health plans, no benefits.
The person that packs the porn in a box in the warehouse is entitled to hepatitis B vaccines. But someone that's having unprotected anal sex, there is no standard.
They're not protected. They don't even have working compensation.
Former U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop says America's big corporations are complicit in a public health hazard.
We have an industry that is making billions of dollars a year, is spreading to cable television and to the internet, and yet their employees are considered to be throwaway people.
So you're saying that they want it both ways. They want to be